Hello again, viewers, and greetings, fellow space travelers. This is Thorn of Night, and welcome to another episode on the Refuge. And I'm over here in my jungle, and I have really done some serious work. All of the leaves have been turned into the assortment of blocks. It looks very fantastic. Not a whole lot of mob spawning. I'm very happy with that. It didn't really increase the amount of dark areas. That's very nice. Also, on the ground, you may see that I have, and on the trunks, I have replaced the logs. These standalone logs are the same assortment of logs as you'll find in the trunks behind the vines, and I did that intentionally so that on a vanilla texture pack, you just get a hint of the purple behind the vines. So it acts as a nice offset, but there's still one more step that I need to do, and that is the ground itself. There is a lot of stuff that needs to happen on the ground. So let's see if I can figure out where my house is and get back into first person here. Alright. I sort of went over this at the end of the previous episode that I'm going to be having an assortment of different types of blocks that will be used for the ground clutter, and basically it's going to be these blocks on this lower portion will be the actual ground replacement. Very few of these redstone ores. Most of the ground will be turned into, I'd say at least 50, maybe 60% will be all these guys, and then the other 40% might be the grass. I may even cut the grass down to maybe 30%. I want to look really fantasy in there, but here's my problem. I have, I guess I should go ahead and show you that. For the clutter that I've already changed, I replaced all the fern grass with redstone torches, and for the purposes of this, the refugee region, for the storyline behind that area, I'm just going to be calling those glowberries and be done with it. Not going to be harvesting them or anything like that. Any redstone that, ow, my nose, that any redstone that I'll be getting will be from digging in the ground. I have a white cat. But here's the thing. Obviously, the mushrooms are going to be going on top of the mycelium where possible. The nether wart's going to go on top of the soul sand where possible. And then these things, these spikes are going to go in various locations. Now, here's my problem. I don't know any way of making it so that the mushrooms... Ooh, there's Cuddles. Hi, Cuddles. The mushrooms, if I were to go through with like a power tool to target on top of mycelium and just place the mushrooms. I don't know how to do that yet. I'm going to try to figure it out. I don't even know if it's possible, though. Same thing with the nether wart and the soul sand. So there's a little bit of busy work for me to do, but I am going to put, not the grass blocks I've determined, instead it's going to be the red glass panes, but also these things, and they are going to replace a lot of the grass that I have in here, but I'm going to diminish the grass quite a bit. I'm going to cut it down to maybe 60% of the grass is going to become air. Maybe 30% is going to become, or 35% is going to become the red stained glass panes. And then the last 5% will be the nether brick things. And those are just basically going to be stalks. And then if I can find a way to put blocks on top of blocks using the power tool, Then on top of the stalks, I'll put another glowberry just to add a little extra oomph to it. But that is what I've been working on recently. It's been pretty fun. I've had a lot of just ooh and ah moments when I just finish a phase and pull back and go, wow, that looks so cool. Oh, there's White Cat. Wow, that looks so cool. Anyway, uh, I'm going to fiddle around with the percentages that I want this all to be. But first, before I do any of that, I'm going to see if there's a way that I can just target specific blocks to put things on top of them. If I can do that, I'm golden. If not, this is going to be a bit of a headache. But we'll see. We will see. And when this is all said and done, hopefully more will be done than said. So I'm going to get back to work. I will talk to you in a bit. Well, the next stage has been taken care of. I have replaced some of the tall grass, well, all of the tall grass, with either mostly air or, in the rest of the cases, I have these fences and these glass spikes, and some of them connect to nearby blocks, and that's okay. I'm perfectly fine with that. But now comes the next stage, and what I'm going to be doing with this is I have a mix of, let's see here, I don't want that one. I want that one. There we go. I have a mix. Now I'm going to be fiddling with it to make it look more visually appealing, but this is a good enough area to test it. I do this. I don't want to leave too much grass, so I've got about 40%, and this actually doesn't look half bad. Let's see. I almost sort of want it to look a little bit fungal, but not entirely. I mean, they already look like giant red mushrooms, to be fair. But I think this'll work. Especially because, oh, hi, Cuddles. Especially because on top of all of the nether, or on top of all the soul sand will be netherwort, and then on top of all of the mycelium will be the mushrooms. I hope this will work, because the only thing I've been able to find so far is a sort of a place above command, and it places above, but it doesn't just place above like the soul sand. Soul sand is 88, so if I go / replace near, I'll just go 5, and then I'll go above 88, which is soul sand, replace it with 112, hit value 2. Uh-oh, that's no good. / undo. I did something wrong. Hi, Cuddles. Sorry, Cuddles. I would not be near me while experimenting. I swear that was above 88. Replace near, radius 5, above 88, netherwort, or nether stalk 2. It is 112, isn't it? Let's change the radius to 3 and see what that was. /GMSP. Oh. So maybe it wasn't that. Maybe it was 115? Ah, 115. And it doesn't put it on all of them either. That's something that kind of bothers me. It only puts it on a few. So I don't know what to do with about that. And also, uh, it will make all of this litter everywhere. I tried using a brush and just could not figure out what to do with that. So there's a little bit of a plan. We're going to go through and place on, I'm going to place on top, and they're going to, whoever it is that's going to be helping me at the time, is going to come through and just run lag clear behind me, so it just clears all the excess litter. But let's undo, undo, undo. I'm going to have to do a little bit more research and see if I can find a way to just only specifically target the blocks using a mask above only the soul sand to place nether wart, and above only the mycelium to place the brown mushrooms. If I can't figure that out, it's going to be messy, but it'll still get done. But my big fear is mushrooms can go just about anywhere. So if I do this method, the mushrooms aren't just going to be restricted to the mycelium. However, that might be alright, because the mushrooms are going to spread anyway. So we'll see. But either way, I'm at least going to get the ground in place, and that's really the main thing for right now. So I'm going to get busy on that, and then we'll see about getting everything on top of it. But for right now, I'm getting back to work. I'll talk to you in a bit. Alright, after much hemming and hawing, we kind of figured out oh, hi White Cat. We figured out a good mix. And the way it's going to be is, well, first off, that's the mix right there. Got rid of all the coarse dirt and the hardened clay. It was just too popping, too bright. But needed to needed to keep the podzol and the green wool and the mycelium and the soul sand. So reduced the number of things, made it slightly less busy, and hopefully this will work. Now, I don't know how the mushroom action is going to be, but can place on top of this if we go slow. And the way it works is, for instance, if I come over here and I go like this, it barfs that up. And then, like, she can just come through, or yeah, and do some lag clear. And the nether wart sticks to the top of most of the soul sand, and everything is happy and good and shiny. But found out that doing it any much larger distance than 5 radius really causes some severe lag issues. So what we're going to do is a little bit more busy work to try to tweak the balance here. I think this is good, but I'm also going to look to see if there's something that I'm missing for placing things only on top of the soul sand. Because that mask should work, but for whatever reason, it's not. So I'm going to do some more research on that, and then the enchanted mushroom, or not mushroom, the enchanted jungle is pretty much set. So just wanted you to see this. It's progress report. Next time, if I remember, it'll be just before everything's done, or It will be after we go ahead and do the whole biome and just have it done. But this is basically it. We've got that down there as the floor. We've got the trees up here on top, and hopefully it'll look just completely magical. So I'm going to get back to work with these two lovely people, and I'll talk to you in a bit. Alright, so after a little bit more fiddly work with the percentages of things to get it to look just so, I got the Ground Assortment the way I like it, and it looks pretty good. I was thinking of maybe cutting back a little bit on the coarse dirt, but I think it still works fine, especially because from up above, where it's really going to be viewed, it does bring it a little bit of contrast to it, a little bit less jarring than just having the Podzol and then the purple everywhere. So that's sort of why I wanted to do that. But I also have a discovery. I'm going to stand right here and go click, and you will see that I have some I can't remember the word. Netherwort, nether stalks, netherwort. They are just appearing on top of the soul sand, and they go wherever I want them to. Way over there. Do I want them over there? Yes, I do. And maybe over there. There's some. And it just goes wherever my cursor is. That's because I was able to use the brush. What I did is I did brush sphere, and I just put it at growth stage 2 so that they can be at different degrees of growing. I guess over time they'll just fully mature anyway, so I don't even know why I bothered, but it gives it something to do. Then, oops, I told it to mask just the soul sand, which is 88, but instead of masking the soul sand, I wanted to mask the block above any soul sand that it discovers. And just to be careful and sure, I gmasked air only as the blocks to change. I believe that's the one that gmask deals with. But between those three, I managed to do it. Now, the brush is limited to a sphere of 5. So, I possibly might have something else at my disposal that I don't know about that I could use to make a wider area, but I've decided that instead of doing huge, monstrous swaths of netherwort, I'm going to leave patches of it instead of just the whole ground being covered by it. That way, from up here, it doesn't look solid red. It's just little spots of netherwort here and there. Oh, I found some more of this. Doop 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 doo, and boop. Did this not? Why is? Are you? What changed? Oh. Let's disable the mask and let's disable the gmask and do this again. Boop. There we go. That's how to do it. I almost forgot about that. So anyway, I have a means of doing this. Haha. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Slash undo. Let's just go ahead and go tool none on that one. Oh, and that's the awesome thing, an awesome thing I've discovered about using the tools versus using the power tools, or in conjunction with using the power tools. You can have one tool be two things. The left click is the power tool ability, and the right click is the tool or brush or whatever. So it works out kind of nice. Oop, like, but let's turn the mask and the, wait, how did I, oh, slash undo and undo that. Oh, that was an oops. Oops, oops. Oops. Haha. Lag clear. Let's get rid of that. Do have to watch out for that. I guess I turned, no. What's going on here? I was able to do that, and then I turned it off. Or did I turn it off? I don't know anymore. Let's see here. So let's just be sure. Slash brush. Let's just type it out from scratch. Slash brush sphere 115. Oh, 115. Stage 2, radius of 5. Mask greater than 88. And gmask 0. Let's just make sure that I haven't messed something up terribly. There we go. There's a small cleft here. Don't know exactly what this was, what happened here. But, I guess this is what happens if you're not paying attention. But anyway, I got this to work. Long story short. And so, what I'm going to do is litter the ground with the nether wart in patches, and then go through here and do the same thing with a little bit less of the mushrooms, and then I have a couple of other ideas. In just very sparse locations, I'm thinking of putting some wads of cobwebs and possibly these areas of green glass to act like a toxic fog or something. So, and there's White Cat obviously. So I have a few different things I'm going to be experimenting with just to see if I can get them to look the way I expect them to look. But in the meantime, I think I'm going to just go ahead and go through, make sure all the grass is turned into this mix, and go through and put in the nether wart. And then when I'm done, I'll take a look around and see what I have on my mind as far as changes and see what's going on from there. So I'm going to get back to doing this. I'll be back, and hopefully this jungle will be pretty much done. But one last little look before I cut here. This is how it looks at night. Very, very glorious. I really am happy with the way it turned out. This is terrific. Also an after effect or side effect of the fact that I'm using redstone ores is occasionally when things walk around, it turns on the redstone ore light, so that's kind of cool. The ground flickers off and on. It's really neat. But yeah, I'm happy with this. Anyway, I'm going to get back to work and try not to do this some more. I'll be back. Alright, I have, for the most part, as far as I can tell anyway, finished placing the nether wart with the help of Cuddles. Whoops, my mouse went crazy. With the help of Cuddles and White Cat, I found even spots that I had missed. Now, I didn't want to go totally nether wart on the jungle floor. Way too much red. So, I'm just sticking with the little patches that I have, and that should be enough. The next thing I need to do is decide on how much of a mushroom presence I want in the jungle. But before I do that, I've recently discovered that Cuddles here has been making a hobby of mapping. She's mapping all the things. And so I flew around and updated it. This is what my jungle looks like on the map. It looks like a Pegasus facing left. Like, there's the head, and there's the front legs. There's the wing sticking back. You can see the tail sticking out the back. And there's the hind legs. It's like walking or at a slow trot. I don't know what the tuft under its chin is. Maybe that's its harness or something. Anyway, uh, it looks like a Pegasus on accident. It's just too cool. So I might call it the Nightmare. Wait, which direction? This direction. Because it is supposed to be dangerous. But look at that. Look at that. Just that little bit right there. Just that looks so cool. At least to me anyway. I don't know. Maybe you have a different opinion. Anyway, I am going to fiddle around with the mushrooms. Well, find the right ID for making the actual placed mushrooms. And then I'm going to decide what's going to happen with the mushrooms in the jungle. I may place them. I may not. We'll see. But the next major project, I've recently discovered that brown spot right there, someone moved where they were staying to right there. This is my area for my refugee to regent. This ocean is going to be one of my cities. And there's someone right there. Now, there's also, to be fair, there's someone right... Let's see here. Come over this way. Right there. Right there is where you see the brown. There's someone has set up a place. I don't remember who. It's a General Gamer and his friend General GMC or something like that had set up their place, and they're also going to be doing the refugee region. I told them they could have that desert there. Basically, that's my desert that I'm claiming. That and this little patch over here. They can have this desert. They can have all this stuff. If they really wanted to, they could even go. Oops, they could go around and mess with this jungle. I don't think anyone's claimed any of this jungle, but she's continuing her hobby. But yeah, here's the map. So I'm thinking I'm going to call it the Nightmare. But, or at least the ground part of it is going to be called the Nightmare. Anyway, I'm going to get back to the mushrooms, and possibly the webs, and possibly the misty green glass. We shall see. I'll be back. Talk to you in just a bit. So, one other little detail. I don't have to be doing the exploring. It updates on its own on the wall. What Cuddles has done is she placed a copy of the map that she had in her hand on the wall. And she's just flying around and filling it in. And it's just updating all on its own on the wall. How is that for just too cool? I mean, wow. Seriously, that is just neat. Oh, there was... Oh, come on, mouse. There we go. There was another green arrow. See, wherever there's a green arrow, that means that there's a place where a map is set somewhere. So, there was a spot down here where JoJo's base was. There was one for rank, but there's Elmaze, I believe, and there is spawn, or vice versa. No, that has to be spawn right there. But look at all that desert. There's a bunch of it over there. Anyway, I'm going to get back to work. I just wanted you to see that the map updates spookily all on its own while stuck to the wall. Look at that. Anyway, back to work. So, with the addition of learning how to do the G-masking in concert with the masking for making all of the different things happen with the world edit for placing assorted blocks and whatnot, I have managed to start placing patches of the toxic green fog. It's mostly lime green with a little bit normal green, like 5% yellow and 5% white, just to give it a little bit of texture. But it's one of the reasons why the ground is not to be interacted with. I was thinking about changing some of the surface dirt blocks or whatever to one by one lumps of lava, but I don't want it to be lava danger. I want it to be just just role play danger. It's a bunch of toxic fumes and gas, and it's sporadic enough that it's not covering the whole floor. I still haven't done the mushrooms yet. I'm still debating whether or not I actually want to do the mushrooms because that will do some spreading. But in a couple of the instances where I have, let's see here, let me find an edge piece. There we go. Over there. Yes. Where I have decided that some of the mist is near the edge over water, I have it actually seeping out over onto the water. And I think it makes for a really nice effect. I'm happy with it. But, that was weird. But I think I'm going to go ahead and call this a good wrap-up point because I didn't anticipate making this whole video all about this jungle, but you know what, might as well. Total conversion jungle. I don't know if I'm going to do the mushrooms or the spider webs, especially now that I've got the mist in, but I'm happy. So I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please feel free to leave a message in the comment section below, and I'll be more than happy to answer anything I can. If you like this video and you like what I'm doing here, please feel free to give a like. I do appreciate it. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe so you know when my future stuff comes out. But I'm going to get back to work, put a few more finishing touches on this, and then maybe go on to something else, like the sky map or something like that for the end, some other project. This just kind of popped up and I did it all at once almost. So there we go. Anyway, I'm going to let you go. Thank you once again for watching. This is Thorn of Night on the Refuge, and I will talk to you later.